So I'm sure some of you might be wondering what is Richard Burns Rally and why should I be downloading a game from 2005. The reason is that Richard Burns Rally is still updated by a bunch of community members to this day. It is one of the most realistic rally game, or probably the most realistic rally game that you can play. I've honestly never played a racing game that has felt like this. I guess realistic, or it just feels like you're on an actual road. I don't know how to describe it, but it is pretty awesome. And if you want to know how it's gonna make you feel, these clips are basically how it's gonna make you feel. All right, so the first thing you're going to need to do to download Richard Burns Rally is to go to the first link in the description, rallysimfans.hu. Once you're on this page, you're going to click on this Rally Simfans installer, and then click on the app installer right there. And so there's just one more thing that you need to go along with this installation, and you're going to need to either install this torrent file or download from the upload that I have in the description. It's around 27 to 30 gigabytes, so the torrent will take a while to download, but I'm going to try and upload it myself to either Google Drive or elsewhere, and I'll try to update the description with that once that upload is complete. So I already have this installed. That's just a forewarning. So some steps I might not actually click yes on because I've already installed it. But once you open the installer, it's going to prompt you with your language. Obviously, choose your language. Then this is just the patch notes for all the versions. This installer, Richard Burns Rally, I probably should have pointed this out already. It includes around 27 to 30 gigabytes of additional, tracks and other data and cars and stuff like that. So it's all going to be included. So once you complete this installation, you're going to have, the best Richard Burns Rally experience that you could have, which is pretty sick. It's just going to prompt you to choose your destination folder and then choose your installer files. So the installation folder is going to be where you want to install it, and the source folder for the RSR packages is going to be what you download either from the torrent file or what I upload in the description. So those are going to be called it's minus the .torrent. It's just going to say RSR files. I forget what the extension is, but you'll see it once you do download it. You can click next, and then update existing. I'm just going to click yes just for the sake of it. Or actually, I'm going to click no. Screw that. Anyways. So once you get to here, you're going to go to update existing full installation in your case. Next, click server. Because it shouldn't be, if the server is really bogged down, you'd want to pick this, but I'm assuming that this was fine. That's how I installed it. I had no issues. So this is a bunch of additional things that you can select. I personally would honestly just select everything. The PaceNote plugins, super useful. Various co-driver mods for PaceNote plugin. Screw it, yeah. And then these are a bunch of maps, like a lot of maps. And then there's offline maps, test maps. So I'm just gonna go through, and honestly, that since these are deselected, did I already install them? I don't know, but anyways, we're just gonna select everything and continue to the next step. Choose this depending on, what language you speak so you can understand your co-driver. Yes. Why not? Just a bunch of other what do you call it? Things that aren't required, but you can if you want. I already have these things. Your computer may not, so it wouldn't hurt to install them. But you know, if you have a new PC, you might not have all the C++ libraries installed, so that might be something that you want to check just to avoid any errors. And then just click install, and this might take a bit. Well, for you guys, it's going to take a lot longer, but obviously I'm going to fast forward through this part, but I'll pick up at the next step. App called Rally Sim Fans Launcher. Once it's open, you will be able to see that it brings you to the login screen. This login screen is only required if you want to play online. I personally have not set that up yet, but because when I've been playing, I've only been playing like practices thus far. There's pace notes. You could add pace notes. You could edit pace notes. These are all my replays that I've saved. You can click these and it will open them in game. Screening graphics is a pretty important step to change before you launch the game. I don't know why that was. I sometimes play in my second monitor, and it's at 1080p, but my main monitor is 1440p. Full screen mode, you could leave normal. Vulkan graphics mode, you can leave off, but then depending on your system, you can turn it on. Just read those things. Gaming monitor. This is which display you use. That's what picture format the screenshots are in. This allows you to show your FPS counter. Obviously, these are pretty straightforward, but I am just pointing them out. I personally have a pretty decent PC, so I have everything set to high. These are VR settings if you want to play in VR. Surprisingly, Richard Burns Rally actually looks really good. Like, there's no artifacts. The anti-aliasing is really good. I personally really enjoy it in VR, but we're just going to go through the basic setup with controls, and then you guys should be off and ready to hit the stages. So I'll wait for this to load up. All right, so once it loads, it's going to bring you this Rally Sim Fans menu. If you press escape twice, go down to options. In screen, these aren't super useful. Audio, the game is a little loud, so I mean, if you want to turn down it's the music, yeah, that's a little loud. Which one am I looking for? Oh yeah, controls. This is where you're going to want to set up all your bindings. You can see that my steering is binded to my steering wheel. Gear up and gear down secondary aren't required. Throttle, my throttle's bound. Handbrake bound, gear up, gear down. So you just click enter, and then you click the button that you want to bind it to. When you do, you're going to want to make sure that you make these controller changes in this menu and not inside the game when you're on the stage, because those won't save. If you'll notice that it says your settings have changed, do you want to save this profile now? In this case, I didn't make any changes, so I'm going to click no. You're going to want to make sure that you click yes, because that's going to save them to your profile so that every time you boot up the game, it has all your controls already bound, and you're not going to have to rebind them once you get to stage. This is something I forgot to do, and I'd go to play, and I'd be at the stage, and I'd be like, my gas is not working, and then you have to bind everything, and it can be super annoying. And then once you're ready to play, you can go to Rally Sim Fans. You could do online rally if you are signed in, but personally, I usually just play in practice. Here, you can use the right and left arrow keys. That's probably something I should have mentioned. You got to use your arrow keys. There's probably other binds you could use, but I'm not too sure. And then you could just change these settings how you would like. If you want to change the car, it's under car, obviously. Stage is stage. And that's pretty much it. There's some other, odds and ends and things that you can change. Well, a lot of things that you can change, but this should get you guys ready to go. And I hope everyone enjoys. And let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. All right, so I almost forgot one of the most important things within the controls menu. If your throttle pedals are usually inverted, this will be checked by default. Clutch pedals are usually inverted. This would be checked by default. And same with brake. If your handbrake shows up as inverted in game, just click this, apply changes, and relaunch. If you want automatic gearbox, check this. You could also check it in game, but this is another way to do it. Use force feedback effects. Check this. You can check this, and I've heard that it works pretty well, but I have personally not tried it yet, but it's definitely something I'll look into. These I have left default, haven't messed with them. This check. And then for steering wheel compatibility mode, select your I think these are just for direct drive wheels that have compatibility stuff. So like in my case, I have a Mozo wheel, then click activate. It's going to say yes. It's going to edit a registry key. Just click yes again. Sometimes you have to reactivate it, and if it causes issues with other games, just deactivate it here. Make sure that after you apply changes, you click apply changes, then click launch. That's pretty much it. Thank you.